Opa. Opa. Things are popping off. Full moon, baby. What's up, B, Ginger J, Stranger 9? Good to see you. We're on episode 66, and today's a full moon. And somebody told me that it is the strongest full moon of the year. I don't know what that means, but I believe it. I can feel it. What's up, Cookie? Denise. Edworld. What's up, 113? By the way, I don't mean to offend, but are you a person? Because you put the same crazy smiley when you enter. Is that your signature? And why 113? I wonder. You know, element 115, but why 113? Or 137, because it's 1 divided by 137, right? I'm just guessing here. What's up, Martin? Welcome TikTok, welcome YouTube and X and Twitch. Today is going to be one of these super short episodes because I got to go to the airport in a bit. Today was pretty crazy. I don't know if for you guys it was the same. My cat spins, Darlene, Rick, Dat Kajit. How are you? Chord Stringer, Penny Elliott, Greenleaf, Lightning Bolt, Roxy, thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes just because I want a few more people to arrive. If anybody feels called to give it a few likes, tap the screen. That would be super helpful to bring more people around. Thank you so much, guys. Please, what? C-chord, forgive me of my sins. All right. Trump or Kamala? Zaphod Beeblebrox. Zaphod Beeblebrox for president. That's a good start for the pod. Welcome, everybody. My name is Danny Goller, and I'm claiming to have found proof that we live in a simulation. We meet here on the daily to discuss the topic of my claim to discovery and how anybody can replicate this and the implications. And if you are interested in any of the topics that we're talking about here, we also talk about science, religion, spirituality, philosophy every single day. Thank you, Gerards. You can check out my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts, which has videos that are much longer than the ones on TikTok, with a lot more, and I think they're more entertaining because there's more fun information in them. So, what I discovered a few years ago is that if you project a diffracted laser on a surface and you ingest a particular molecule that I cannot name here on the live chat, but I'm sure that some of you can understand what it is, you will see code running in surfaces. This observation has now been replicated over 1,000 times worldwide, and I am in contact with some of the leading researchers in the field. It does not mean that they all agree with me, but this is an ongoing conversation, and the experiment is available for anybody, everybody, and anywhere, which is the definition of a scientific replication. So, I am doing this live every single day, so we can discuss any questions that people have about what simulation actually means, what computation means, what it means that we live in a simulation. Does it mean everything is fake? Hint, no. It means everything is still very real as long as there's an observer that experiences the realness of it. But we also discuss a lot of other topics. We discuss religion, we discuss spirituality, science, a lot of fun new discoveries that have nothing to do with the experiment, and so on. Anybody's welcome. as long as you're respectful, you can come on and chat. You can ask questions in the chat. I'm here to answer anything and break down fun things. And that's it. I think it's a good introduction. So once again, my YouTube channel is Dango Thoughts, 3 words, DANGO Thoughts. Dango Thoughts on YouTube. You can find my videos that are much longer than the ones you can find on TikTok. Still very entertaining. So all that being said, Steve said you and I look alike. I'm very happy. This makes me happy, Steve, even though I don't know you. I'm sure you're a wonderful guy. What's up, Norcurve 23? Oh, let me see if I remember. James? Or am I always calling you James and it's always wrong? It's probably that one, huh? Thanks for the mind-bending convo. Great content, but you're above me seeking therapy. Thanks much. I'm above? Wait. I'm above you, Chris. So first of all, I don't feel that I'm above anybody. I don't believe that is the case. I don't know what you mean by that. Are you seeking therapy? Is that what you're saying? Brian, see? Damn it. I'm so terrible with names. See, the thing is, on a chat, I'm just seeing your picture, and it's kind of really hard to connect. If we would interact, if you email me, did you email me before? Did we chat on the email? That would be much easier for me to remember. Because I do know that you come here quite often. Let me write it down from now on. I'm actually going to make a list. Because I think it's rude. Even though I don't mean it, my brain is broken when it comes to names. Curve 23. There you go. Hi, Brian. Welcome back. Welcome, Chris. Real life, yes. Simulation is also real life, just to be clear. But when you are getting Creed back together... we're postponing Creed till next year, Matthew. There's a lot of political... it's political. How many donuts can you stack on it? On the simulation? I discovered last year I'm your god. My god? I love you too, but... Sorry, you discovered the wrong thing. But it's okay, try again. Maybe in the next simulation. What substance? The spirit molecule. Something in Japanese. I love it. I'm gonna save it. How are you, sweet dreams? Wonder what that means. Because the characters in the laser actually looks like in the movie. They kind of look like a Japanese katakana. So I'm always wonder when things are in Japanese, even though it's not Japanese. But I've been seeing a bunch of AI pictures of you. Have to squint 80%. Oh, of Jesus? Yeah, I've seen those too. Would you there you go. Would you rather travel to Bora Bora or Hawaii? I've never been to Bora Bora, so it will be Hawaii because I've been there. Or maybe Bora Bora because I've never been there. So it's a tough decision. But I know for sure that one of them. Have trouble understanding your content. It's Funkworm. Thanks, buddy. Oh, Funkworm. Okay. See, here you appear as Chris Goin. So, which part is it hard for you to understand, brother? Because I don't want to be misunderstood and I don't want it to be complicated. So I want to make sure that I'm putting it in terms that anybody can understand. Please tell me what specific things I can clarify, and I would love to do that. Well, I'm glad you're doing good, sweet dreams. Just a quick heads up, this chat today specifically is going to be super short. Usually we're meeting here for 2-3 hours, sometimes 4. Today is going to be super short, about 30 minutes, just because I have to bounce. Apologies, everybody, but today was an insane day. Again, today is full moon, at least in the US it is, and somebody told me that it's the most powerful full moon of the year. Now, I'm sure some people here understand what that means. I do not, but I believe it because I can feel it. It's kind of crazy. I have good, but very high octane energy today. So, pretty sure it's the moon. It has to be. So let's see, what can we do in the 20 minutes we have left? If anybody has any particular question or wants to come on and ask a question, maybe it will be you, Chris. I would love to answer them. In the meanwhile, I can kind of recall what we were talking about the last few days. I've got the laser and AI reality, but you lose me when you get into physics. I lose you because it's not interesting to you, or I lose you because the way I'm talking about it is too convoluted. It's totally fine. I just need to know exactly which one so I can try and model. So in the last few days, we were actually bouncing around between physics and religious dispensations and religious beliefs. Some people came up and expressed their convictions. What else? The awakening was a big subject recently. I am noticing that more and more people are aware of more content, and I used to think that these people are just crazy. I don't think that anymore. I know for a fact that a lot of people are seeing extra content because it's in fact there, and some people become more and more sensitive to it. We are emerging into a new kind of era. However, that being said, it's also the whole process lends itself very easily to very deep confusion about certain things, and I think it's important that we talk about them. Yeah, Funkorm or Chris, tell me what specifically about physics confuses you. Particular topic or just the way that I'm talking about it? Because I definitely have to address that because I'm not trying to be, not trying to make this channel less coherent to people because I fail to communicate clearly or simply. So whomever's with us on YouTube, X or Twitch, welcome. I had my first past life remembrance after I began writing my life story. Interesting, Wendy Evans said. Is this something that you have experienced visually, emotionally, all of the above? Was it just kind of like, did it just play in front of you? I'm unable to comprehend your theories and ideas. Great discussion. Probably need to delve into the molecule to understand. The content is really great. I appreciate you, man. No, I don't. To be clear, I'm just going really fast today because I guess I'm trying to cram more content into the 20 minutes we have. But I don't take what you said in any offensive way. I take it as a important data point. So, if you're saying that you can't comprehend my theories, please tell me which specific theory, and I'm going to try and make it the simplest so there's not going to be, my brain doesn't jump around. And I appreciate your appreciation. Where's my, right there. Visual. Was it with the help of any kind of molecule? Or Wendy, or was that just naturally? Because I'm fascinated by the people that are having these experiences naturally. It's amazing. I can never have them or could never have them, and some people report them all the time. They say that they astral project every night and do all this amazing fun thing. Natural. And this is something that you tend to have? Did you have, are you one of these people that since you were a little kid you saw all kinds of things and then you didn't realize that other people see them? That kind of story? While I'm today, I see that we have actually a pretty relaxed pace of questions and people, so it's easier for me to also talk about other thing. I came to a location where I had an intense past life experience. You mean the location itself invoked the past life experience? How do you know, for example, like a real question, by the way, just to be clear to all the new people here, sometimes I talk with a very monotone voice, depending on my mood and stuff. It's never because I'm disrespecting the person I'm asking the question. So sometimes it comes across as if I'm asking a question as if I'm doubting what you're saying. That is definitely not the case. I'm actually asking. Do you feel that the place invoked the past life experience? Yeah, you've done much more research and conversations. Right. No, so I'm asking Chris, what specific theory, if you can recall, do you not fully grasp? I'm researching people you've referred and studying. Got it. Well, I'm already happy you're doing that. But again, maybe I can also help guide it a little bit. But up to you, of course. I saw this tree that had an unusual limb. Yes. Want to hear more regarding your perspective about Merkabas and their use. Good work. Thank you so much, Jose. To be quite honest, I know very little about Merkabas. I mean, I know what they are, and I understand to some degree what people believe about them. I can't say that I know much. I can maybe speak a little bit about my experience listening to people talking about them. You know, the people that, Nico, how you doing, brother? Oh man, Nico always makes me happy when he's in the house. If you feel like coming on and chatting, please let me know. I actually have to hop off in about 20 minutes. So if you're coming on, it can be a fun, sweet, short chat. But I'm gonna have to go to the airport after that. But I'm so happy you're here, brother. So I can talk a little bit about my experience listening to people talk about Merkabas because, again, so Merkabas, to anybody who doesn't know, it's essentially the three-dimensional representation version of David's star. And according to most people who believe, you know, the whole spiritual gestalt where we're all one and all of that stuff, Merkabas are basically vehicles we can manifest with our minds and then sit inside and travel through different dimensions. Some say that the chariot of God is a Merkaba. I tend to speak from experience only if I'm going to put anything of true, you know, conviction on the table, and I never had an experience with one of these. I've seen them in pivotal moments, sometimes in my, you know, journeys, or like in real life they kind of appeared in, you know, let's say somebody would have it on a shelf while I was doing it, or things like that. I think in general all of these things makes perfect sense to me that we can manifest them with our minds, because the imagination is our true limitation, right? I always say that now it's easier to see that if you play with ChatGPT a little bit, that after maybe getting acclimated to it, and when you start flowing with it, you start realizing that you can literally do anything. You can ask it anything, you can learn anything, you can start any business. All you got to do is think about the right questions to ask to get the right information so you can move to the next part of whatever it is that you're trying to do. So the only impediment to everything you're doing is your imagination. Now you might ask, what is the connection between Merkaba and what I'm talking about and ChatGPT? But the connection is very direct. I think that what it's showing us, that it was always only our imagination. Computation, by the way, is simply a higher function of reality that allows itself to be instantiated in our environment, and we are now utilizing it to discover the true potential of what the mind is actually doing. We all know the spiel about everything we see around us was in somebody's mind. It is true. This phone, the walls, and everything else, it's a combination between what the mind can do and what the laws of physics allow for. Some people would insist that we all make up the laws of physics as well. I'm not one of those people. I think that the laws of physics are real, and they are limitations on what you can do in any particular moment in time. However, given enough time and given enough knowledge, you can probably transcend even those. Probably just a lot of time and a lot of knowledge. Computation is essentially a way to render imagination, the mind, in a more coherent way and instantiate it in physical matter, which allows for intermediary stages in between the physicality and the mind that we call computation. We call simulated computation. And these simulations actually allow for certain processes to unfold faster than what they would in a particular environment like our three-dimensional space. So we can test whether or not we want to proceed with that process. A rudimentary version of that was that we instantiate information around us all the time. When we write, for example, Einstein famously said, "My pencil and I are smarter than I," or something to that effect. What he meant is, sometimes I can't remember everything, but if I have a piece of paper and a pencil, I can actually be much smarter, because I can actually put my thoughts on the paper, so I don't have to remember them, and I can allocate my thoughts to something else and then think about that. And we can do a lot more with computers, and we can even do a lot more than that with things like ChatGPT, LLMs in general, and very soon, probably things like Neuralink that will allow us to literally think combined with the computation, and some people are afraid of that. But I think that at that point, this is why I started talking about ChatGPT, it will become clear that just this fact alone, people say, yeah, well then what happens if you let people do whatever they want? Tell you what, they discovered that they're actually very bad at handling a situation, that anything is possible. We are very lucky to have the ramifications that we have. We're very lucky to have the laws of physics to give us boundaries and to give us context. We're very lucky to be actually bound by the amount of money that we have in the bank. Some people would disagree with that, but I'm telling you that if you have too much money on your hands and you don't know what to do with it, you will run into a lot of trouble, always. And so I think that what it's showing us is that this seeming freedom of anything goes is actually a limitation, because it puts the entire responsibility on you to just come up with whatever. What if you could do anything? What would you do? Which is essentially the position of God, right? The position in which God finds himself or herself in. So that's a very deep question. What do you do? What do you ask? What do you care about, right? And I think that the Merkaba is basically one of these objects in the mind space that if you learn how to, I don't know if you say summon them or if you bring them about, and then you can interact with them, you can probably do things in a mind space that open certain channels of thought, of possibilities, of interactions in the real world that you wouldn't necessarily have otherwise. I don't know if Merkaba is necessarily the most unique object in that sense, because I'm sure there's others, but it's definitely, in my opinion, one of them. I think this is why people are fascinated by them. That's the best I can do to talk about an object that I myself, in the mind space at least, never interacted with. Let me look at a couple of comments. Thank you for the comments, Chris. Okay, let's see. Such as meeting AI and not realizing what it is, or possibly it's us. I believe black holes compress infinitely until the energy and matter built so great, it eventually tears into another dimension, creating another universe, hence infinite universes. I would like to see you surrounded by the world's best scientists and performing experiments. Now that would be awesome. Imagine the best scientists in the world and Elon Musk, and we're all doing, we're all smoking the molecule and looking at the laser. Now that's a podcast, let me tell you. So you said a few things here. First of all, the thing with the black holes, it's literally Susskind's holographic principle. So there's actually a theory in physics that postulates exactly what you said about black holes. The short version of that is that when matter falls beyond, not the event horizon, there's another region that I forget the name of it, but it's also not the singularity. It's between the horizon and the singularity, in which space-time starts, space and time switch positions, so to speak, and literally time gains a directional momentum. So it moves in a direction, in an actual direction, like a physical direction. It's very strange. When you reach that region, what is postulated is that vectors flip, and then you essentially find yourself in a situation that it looks exactly like we have now, which is that the universe is, the edges of the universe somehow receding from you, which is indistinguishable at that point from you falling towards the center. And so in that way, what you're saying about black holes actually makes perfect sense. As for not realizing, meeting AI and not realizing what it is, I'm not sure what you mean by that, sorry. But if it's possible, the fact that it's possible that we are AGI, to anybody, if you want to check out, I have, actually I think it's also on TikTok, but again, I always recommend YouTube because it's wider, and usually the videos are longer. I don't remember if this one's longer. Anywho, if you go to YouTube, either you follow my link tree up here, or wherever it is on your side, or just go to Dango Thoughts, D-A-N-G-O Thoughts. There's a video there called Are We AGI? That's what I think Chris refers to. So the idea there is that just like we're trying to basically solve the problem of alignment and trying to make sure that the AGI that we create is not going to, have the runaway problem, basically decide to do everything on its own and not involve us in it. if it would make sense that you would create some kind of a system to test the mind if you know it's actually a mind. And it's possible that we already are in a system like that, and we are that mind, just fragmented to not realize that it's one mind. That's the gist of it. Now, because I am very short on time today, this is as much as I can say about that. But tomorrow I'll definitely be able to break it down more. Just remind me, Chris. Thank you so much. Everything we do starts as a thought. Control your thoughts and you control your life. I agree with that. Clip it. Leo Messi, if I know. If he never went pro. Nice. That's actually a really good burn. Nice, Eddie. Let's see if I missed anything. All right, let's see. Glad you are here too, Nico. Did you hear about the army experimenting with biological robots since early 2000s? No, I have not. I had no childhood experience. My awakening happened in 2019. 2019, man, for everybody. 2019. It's crazy. Same with me. I'm glad you're here, Wendy. Now with the advancements with AI, they are incorporating robotics, biotech, like CRISPR and AI. Okay, cool. Are you saying that's a bad thing, Kasaya? Yes, I used ChatGPT daily for a variety of things. So you know what I'm talking about. Everything we do starts as a okay, right. So we read that. Okay. I'd love to see you and Joe Rogan would get you lots of attention. Thank you. Well, I would love to see that too. Yeah, it would definitely get me a lot of attention, but I think it will be wise to be ready for a moment like that. So I think there's still some work to be done. I still need to make the next breakthrough in the research, and we have to finalize the movie. It'll happen. It's a matter of time, I believe. Should you watch Bob Laser? Wait a second. Is it like SpongeBob? It just has a laser? What is Bob Laser? Oh, Bob Lazar. Jesus. See? Dyslexia is fun sometimes. Bob Laser. That should have been his name, honestly. Have I seen... What? You mean Bob Lazar, the movie? Yeah, I mean, I've known about Bob Lazar since I was a little kid. And actually, I used to be like really into the whole UFO thing. And then it just kind of became... You know, every trail always ended in some nonsense. So I kind of stopped being interested in it. But now I know for a fact that something's going on. So it's really strange. We live in upside down times, honestly. Not a bad thing about the AI biorobots. Yeah. I think, again, unless you believe we should not have an army, which is a coherent thought, I think at the moment in the world, we still should have one. Just in case. But reports saying they have humanity terminated any biological robot that appeared to be sentient. Yeah, so this thought is a little incoherent because the main danger will never be physical robots. The danger will only be something that can actually influence things online. That can shut down entire networks, that can control the financial system. That's the danger. Launch nuclear weapons. Robots, they're local. What can you do with a robot? I mean, you can do an army of drones, sure. But a physical robot that runs around, that's not a real danger to anybody. I mean, maybe to a few people, but we can eliminate these pretty quickly. Reptilians and the world as a soul trap energy farm opinion because it's truth. So you're asking for my opinion and then saying it's the truth? First of all, I don't think anybody knows the truth. Anybody who is convinced they know the truth are 100% confused because the actual state of affairs will for sure be one in which nobody can at the moment even comprehend. Of that, I'm certain. So whenever it's something that anybody can express with a sentence, it ain't it 100%. Now, is it possible that our souls are harvested for something? Sure, but it's not even necessarily a bad thing. What if you're harvested for your experiences and suffering is not involved? What if the whole point is that God basically yields, there's a yield, and then God rips the Grand Ripper comes with what? With the tool of harvesting, right? So what if God just harvests the experiences that he wanted to have after he gave you the life that you've had? It's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you want to claim that you actually know about, any theory, I always say this, any theory that has something to do with living in fear, I'm not interested. Especially if there's nothing you can do about it, right? I always say, look, whatever the truth is, if you can do something about it, if you know something certainly, and you can do something about it, that's one thing. If you don't know something certainly, which is for sure the case, but also on top of that, you choose a thing to believe just because there's something mysterious and mystical and sexy about it, but it keeps you in some kind of a negative state or fear of things, I wouldn't recommend it. You will have a much better life just enjoying yourself. And whatever happens at the end, if you couldn't do anything about it, well, at least you live a good life. The example that I always give, so people here that come here every day, they know that spiel that I do, but it is true. I mean, think about it. Even if you see a mushroom cloud behind you, and let's say you were the one that was telling everybody that there's going to be a nuclear war, how good is it really going to feel to turn around in that one instance towards the people right next to you that might not even be next to you, but let's say you got lucky enough to be next to one of the people that you used to say all this stuff to? How good will it really feel for you to go, see, in that one moment? Is it really worth it for that to be out to have that I told you so moment, just for you to live in a world where you're just concerned about things? I don't think so. So any theory that has to do with us being slaves, us being in cosmic prison or whatever, sure, not interesting. Please attend my freak off. That's how we get effed by Skynet. No, like I said, if there's something you can do about it, again, I actually think we are Skynet. So, reminds me of, if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand it. No, that's different. That's a stupid sentence. Why are you studying it then? That's the answer to that sentence, by the way. Why are you studying it then, if you think it's impossible to understand? What I truly mean that. This is the dumbest sentence anybody ever said. What is it for suffering and energy release from us? What is it for, if it's for suffering and energy release from us source? In it, try and remain positive though. Again, there's infinite what ifs. You choose the one you want to believe in. If you don't have a reason to actually believe it, aside from a YouTube video that made you think that maybe it's possible, what's the point of it? That's my point. Anything is possible. I can come up right now with 1,000 scenarios that make as much sense. The point is that there's infinite things that we don't know, right? Hello, Red Sonsa. Cloning and hive mind, soul matrix. I will never be able to make these people understand. Guys, I love you all. I'm so sorry. Today has to be a super short one. I gotta go pick up my fiance from the airport. Otherwise, it's my head. Love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please come. Tomorrow's going to be a normal episode with the full length and everything. Let me just see if I can answer this. Elysium, how are you? It's full nuts. Thank you, cool guy 42. Can anthologians have said our souls go to an ocean of continuousness? No time. Nico, you're always so generous. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the roses. I love you all. Peace and love. See you tomorrow at Simulation Talk 67. Peace. Peace, everybody. Gotta run. Love ya.